This session is for the mind that won't stop, the one that replays conversations, runs through problems, picks apart things that happened years ago. If your thoughts feel like they have their own momentum, like you can't find the off switch, you're in the right place. That constant mental activity is about to meet something it can't argue with. Not force, not willpower, something much simpler than that. And as it happens, you'll feel yourself slipping into the deepest, most restful sleep you've had in a long time. All you need to do is keep listening. Do not listen while driving or operating machinery. If you have a medical or psychological condition, please consult a medical professional before listening. This session will be best enjoyed with headphones in a safe, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. Now take a breath and let yourself settle into this journey. You find yourself standing on a towpath, not the kind that bustles or hurries. This is an ancient path worn by centuries of footsteps, running alongside a canal that seems to belong to another time. The light is golden, that particular quality of gold that comes near the end of the day when the sun hangs low and warm and everything it touches seems to glow from within. The air is thick with warmth, heavy in a way that feels comforting rather than oppressive. You can smell the water, a clean, deep smell like earth and time and stillness mixed together. On both sides of the canal, willow trees grow with their branches trailing into the water, their long leaves barely moving in the still air. The water itself is so calm that it mirrors everything. The sky above, the trees, the light, all of it doubles in the surface of the canal, creating a world that is somehow deeper and more real than the one you're standing in. You begin to walk. Your footsteps are soft on the packed earth. There's no hurry here. The path curves gently, and as you follow it, the world becomes quieter. The sounds of any distance fade. What remains is the whisper of the breeze through the willow leaves, the faint sound of water lapping against the bank. Your breathing settles into the rhythm of your walking, in, out, unhurried, natural. The warmth of the sun on your skin feels like a weight, not heavy but present, grounding. You pass an old stone bench, weathered and worn. You pass the frame of a gate, long since drifted away. These are the remnants of a world that knew how to move slowly, a world that understood stillness. And as you walk, something in you begins to remember. There was a time when your mind moved like this too, without urgency, without the constant spinning. That time is here now. It's waiting for you, just around the bend. And then you see it, moored in a stretch of canal, so still it seems to be holding its breath. A houseboat, the kind that belongs to someone who knows the value of quiet. The hull is painted a deep green, the colour of old forests, with brass fittings that catch the golden light. The wood is worn smooth by years of weather and water, real, solid, built to weather time. Smoke rises gently from a small chimney, curling into the still air. Through a low window, you can see warm light glowing from inside. Not harsh light, warm, welcoming, the kind of light that promises comfort. You can see the faint outline of movement inside, a cushioned space, perhaps the soft shadow of blankets. Your feet carry you toward it without your thinking about it. This is where you were meant to come. This is home. You walk along the towpath toward it. The wooden planks are smooth beneath your feet from years of footsteps. There is no rush here. The canal has taught everything on its banks the value of patience. You notice the smell, not unpleasant, earth and water and old wood. The kind of smell that speaks of time and continuity. Your shoulders begin to drop. Your breathing naturally deepens. Everything in your body knows knows it is safe here. The houseboat grows closer. You can see the details now, the way the paint has weathered to soft colours, the small flowers in pots along the deck, simple, hardy, undemanding. There is a rope tied to a post on the bank, thick and weathered, holding this boat exactly where it belongs, not restraining it, holding it. There is a difference, the difference between being confined and being secure. As you approach the gangway, you feel something inside you soften. This is not the world of rushing and proving. This is a different frequency entirely, and your entire being recognizes it as home. You step onto the gangway. Feel the gentle give of it beneath your feet. The boat is moored firmly, but even so, you can feel the faintest suggestion of rocking, so subtle you're not sure if it's real or if your body is simply remembering what stillness feels like. You step onto the deck. The wooden planks are warm from the sun. They're worn smooth by countless footsteps, and under your palm, when you reach out and touch them, you feel the grain of the wood, deep and true. Each mark a story, each line a year. You move toward the cabin door. It opens without resistance. The smell hits you first, wood smoke from the small stove, the mineral smell of the canal water, deeper now, more intimate, and underneath it all, something like cedar, old timber. Comfort itself has a smell, and this is it. Step inside. Your eyes adjust to the softer light. The cabin is small, perfect. A low wooden ceiling, enriched by time and smoke. A bench with cushions, real cushions, stuffed and worn, the colour of sand and earth. Thick blankets folded nearby, ready. A small cast iron stove radiates warmth into the space. This is not a place designed for hurrying. You move to the bench. As you sit, you feel the give of the cushions, the support of the timber beneath. This is the kind of place where time moves differently, where a minute is an hour and an hour is nothing at all. The rocking of the boat is so gentle now that you're not even sure you're still feeling it. Perhaps it's just your breathing. Perhaps it's just the natural sway of being alive. The warmth from the stove wraps around you. Your shoulders drop. The tension that lives in your neck, the constant tightness that whispers that something needs your attention right now, it begins to unwind. This boat is moored, these ropes are secure, the water won't move, the banks won't shift. Nothing here requires your vigilance. You can let the muscles of your back release. You can let your jaw unclench. The blanket is there, waiting. Draw it over your shoulders. Feel its weight, real weight, anchoring weight, the kind of pressure that tells your nervous system you are safe, you are held. The stove clicks softly as the fire shifts inside it. Water laps gently against the hull, once, twice, a rhythm that matches no particular thought, just the breath of the canal itself. Think of the canal outside, that still, clear water. Do you know what still water does? It reflects everything. The sky, the trees, the light. Everything is returned to you, clear and true. But what happens when water is disturbed? When it's choppy and agitated? The reflections shatter, distort. You can't see anything clearly anymore. Your mind was never designed to be that agitated water. It was never meant to rush and churn and spin. Look deeper. Your mind is like the canal, built for stillness, built to reflect clearly, built to hold things. And when water holds something, a leaf, a piece of wood, anything dropped into it, it doesn't fight the object. It doesn't resist. It simply accepts it and lets it settle to the bottom. The object doesn't stay suspended in the water, spinning and caught. it settles, it comes to rest. Your thoughts are like that too. When you stop fighting them, when you stop trying to grab them and hold them and understand them, they settle. They settle. They become part of the bottom, part of what's been and what will be, no longer disturbing the surface. The surface becomes still again, and in that stillness, you can see, you can think, you can be. This boat is moored. These ropes, they're not chains, they're not restraints, they're anchors. They hold the boat steady without fighting the water. The boat doesn't strain against the moorings, it rests with them. That's what you're doing now, resting, not because you've given up the right to move, not because you're confined, but because being still is exactly where you need to be. The engine that was running, that racing engine of worry and planning and processing and second guessing, you don't have to kill it. You don't have to fight it. You simply let it idle. Let it rest. An engine doesn't fight you when you stop pressing the accelerator. It simply slows, cools, becomes quiet. That's happening in you now. The constant activity, the spinning, the racing, it's simply winding down, not stopping abruptly, just settling, the way smoke settles from a fire, the way dust settles in an old room, the way your mind settles when it remembers. There's nowhere you need to go right now, nothing you need to solve right now. Right now, all you need to do is lie here and let yourself rest. The boat holds you. That's all the moorings are for. Listen now. There are two sounds, one on the left, one on the right. On the left, the gentle lapping of the water against the hull, water that has been still for so long it knows nothing but patience. That sound is your permission to let go. On the right, the breeze moving through the willows, a sound that comes and goes, that moves without destination, that simply exists and then fades. That sound is your permission to let thoughts pass through without holding them. Two different stories, two different truths, both are being spoken to you now. The water beneath the boat teaches you one thing, the air above teaches you another, and as you lie here, both stories become your story. You are the water, you are the air, you are the boat that holds both. You don't have to choose between them, you don't have to understand them, you simply listen, and as you listen, something inside you that was ache-tight, something that was running on high alert, begins to recognize, I am safe. I am in a houseboat on a still canal. I am protected. I am held. I can listen to these two sounds and simply let myself drift. Still water does not mean dead water. It means water that is at rest with itself. It still contains all the nutrients needed for life. It still reflects the sky. It still supports what floats upon it. And your mind, when it settles into stillness, becomes like this. Not blank, not empty, but at rest with itself. Your nervous system is learning to distinguish between aliveness and urgency, between presence and agitation. You can be fully alive and fully still at the same time. In fact, this is the state where true clarity emerges, where real peace lives, not the peace of numbness, not the peace of avoidance, but the peace of alignment, of a system returning to its true operating frequency. Notice that as you breathe, your body rests. As you exhale, you are trusting the next inhale to come. You are not holding on to the air. You are not desperately grasping for the next breath, but you simply trust the rhythm that is ancient within you. racing mind can learn this same trust. This houseboat you are sitting in, it is not just a place, it is a metaphor. It represents a part of yourself, the part that is safe, the part that is held, the part that knows how to be at rest. Every detail you have noticed, the weathered paint, the rope holding it secure, the still water beneath it, each of these details is a message from your deeper mind. Your mind is showing you that you contain this sanctuary within yourself, that there is a space inside you that is exactly like this cabin, peaceful, held, at rest with itself. And as you sit here, as your nervous system learns what it feels like to be in this space, you are carving a path back to this sanctuary, a path you can return to whenever you need it, even when you leave this place, even when you wake. You will remember. You will know how to find your way back to stillness. The canal is a masterclass in acceptance. For centuries it has received whatever was given to it: rain, sun, leaves, reflections of clouds, debris from storms. The canal does not resist. It does not say, "I would prefer not to hold this." It simply receives and holds. And in this receiving it finds its peace. Your mind has been trying to be selective, trying to only allow certain thoughts, trying to reject anything that feels uncomfortable or unwanted. But the canal shows you something different. What if you became like the water? What if you allowed the thoughts to come and go without resistance? What if you became the container for whatever arises rather than the one doing battle with it? This is not resignation. This is not giving up. This is the paradox. The moment you stop fighting what is, you discover a peace that no amount of control could ever bring. The racing mind is racing against itself. It is like someone struggling against the current, making the water churn. But when you stop struggling, when you accept the water as it is, you discover that you can float, you can move with it, you can surrender to its wisdom without being drowned by it. And as you float, as you stop struggling, something remarkable happens. Your entire nervous system recognizes that safety is not about controlling the environment. Safety is about learning to flow with it. Two voices are about to join you, one from the water below, one from the air above. They're not competing for your attention, they're not contradicting each other, they're both speaking the same truth, just in different languages. The language of weight and settling and foundation, the language of movement and freedom and release. Both are necessary, both are real. As you hear them, you don't have to work to understand them. You don't have to choose which one to listen to. Your deeper mind will understand both. Your body will respond to both. You can simply let them in. Let them speak to you from both sides. This is what it feels like when your mind finally stops trying to be the only voice in the room. This is what happens when you allow other perspectives in. This is peace. I am the water beneath you. I have been still for longer than time. I do not rush. I do not need to understand where I'm going because my only job is to hold what floats above me. Everything that enters my surface, anxiety, worry, regret, the endless spinning of questions with no answers. I accept it all. I accept it and I let it settle. I don't judge what settles into me. I don't try to fix it. I simply hold it in the deep places where it cannot disturb the surface. This is my gift to you. I teach you what it means to be the ground, to be the foundation, to be strong enough to hold weight without collapsing. The racing thoughts, The replayed conversations, the what ifs and the why dids, they are not heavier than they feel. I have held a much heavier, and yet they feel heavy to you because you're trying to hold them yourself. I don't try to carry them in your mind, I don't cling in your body, in your chest. I pass through the willows and they don't stop me, and I don't push them. I simply take the weight and we both remain unchanged. Let it go. Your thoughts are like release it into the water through your mind, and they don't have to float again. They don't have to mean something. They don't have to be solved or understood or fixed. I teach you this. Attention is a choice. Your eyes can follow every cloud, or your eyes can rest on the horizon. Your mind can chase every thought, or your mind can simply notice the movement without following. I don't make the wind blow. The wind blows and I am it. I don't argue with it. I don't resist it. And in that non-resistance, in that allowing, the wind passes through me and away. Your mind can learn this too. You are large enough. You are free enough. A thought can move through you and you can remain still. You don't have to catch it. You don't have to understand it. Both voices together. You can simply both truths merge into one understanding. Your mind already knows how to be still. It doesn't need to learn. It already knows. The learning was ancient. The knowing is ancient. When you were an infant, your mind was still. When you slept, your mind was still. When you've ever truly rested, when you've ever been in a moment where you weren't thinking about thinking, your mind was still. It hasn't forgotten. The capacity for stillness is not something you have set aside. It's something that's been waiting under the noise, waiting under the spinning, waiting for you to remember that you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to fix everything first. You don't have to solve the unsolvable. You simply have to decide, I am going to let this be easy. I am going to let this moment be what it is. I am going to trust that my mind knows what to do when I stop trying to tell it. The water and the air both agree. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is fullness. Stillness is the ground from which clarity grows, and that clarity is beginning now, in you, around you, under you. In the water, I have held this canal for centuries. In that time, I have seen countless cycles pass through me. I have held rain that fell from clouds. I have held the grief of people who came to my banks and wept. I have held the joy of children playing at my edges. All of it. Every emotion. Every moment. And you know what I learned? Nothing lasts. The rain became the canal, and the canal became the soil, and the soil became the food, and the food became life again. There is no moment that is truly stuck. There is no moment that doesn't eventually flow into the next one. The thing you're worried about, it feels permanent. It feels like it will exist inside you forever. But I'm here to tell you, it won't. I am the breeze. Time will move. I move through will things without owning any of them. The worry that feels enormous in this hour will be just another current in a much larger river. The boat doesn't belong to me. What is true right now is this. Warmth doesn't belong to me. You are in a houseboat on a still canal. And I don't try to hold them. I let them all move through my presence, and I that is the only moment that exists. This is the secret your racing mind is ready to learn, or imagination. You don't have to own and in this moment, in the only possession that ever truly exists, create them. You are well. They arise in you the way clouds arise in the sky. And just as the sky doesn't fight the clouds or cling to them, your mind doesn't have to fight your thoughts or cling to them. The thought that replays a conversation, you can see it arise. You can let it be there. You don't have to push it away, and you don't have to grab it and examine it. You simply let it be. And then, like everything that moves through me, it moves on. This is not suppression, this is freedom. This is the difference between being held by your mind and being free to notice your mind. And that freedom is yours now. You're learning it with every breath, the water from below, the air from above. Here is what they teach together. You cannot control everything, and that is not a weakness. That is your freedom. The things that feel pressing in your mind, the replay of that conversation, the worry about what might happen, the regret about what has been, these are all things you cannot actually change in this moment, not by thinking harder, not by worrying more, not by spinning them in your mind endlessly. The only thing you can change in this moment is whether you struggle against them or whether you accept them, whether you tense around them or whether you relax, whether you treat your mind like an enemy that needs to be conquered or whether you treat it like a natural system that knows how to move through its cycles. Here is the truth. You are strong enough to hold this, not strong enough to fix everything, strong enough to be okay with not fixing it in this moment. Deep down, you already know this. Part of you recognizes it. Something in you has always known that the weight you carry isn't actually yours to carry alone. You were never meant to solve everything. You were meant to live. And living includes this moment, includes breathing, includes resting. I am the water that holds you, and I accept everything. The parts of you that feel weak because you can't stop thinking, the parts of you that feel broken because your mind races, the parts of you that feel discouraged because you've tried everything and nothing seems to work. I accept those parts too, not because they need to shine, not because they need to be fixed, simply because they exist. And acceptance is the ground from which everything real grows. Your racing mind isn't something that happened to you. It isn't a disease. It isn't proof that something is wrong with you. It's your mind doing what minds do, moving, processing, trying to protect you, trying to solve things. And that's okay. You can accept that your mind does this. You can accept that you have the tendency to overthink without believing that the tendency defines you. Is permanent in me. You are larger than your overthinking. The breeze that blows right now deeper will be gone than your racing thoughts. The warmth on your skin will fade than just the surface of this very breath you're taking will exhale and become some layers of peace, layers of stillness. That's not sad. Layers of a knowing. That's not something to fight against. Deeper than any thought. That's the nature and those of everything that's alive exist in you too. Everything that's real right now moves through time and space. They're not something you have to achieve. Everything changes. They're not something you have to earn that's by thinking harder or it's moving through you right now. They're simply there. It's not permanent. In the deep places of it feels heavy, and you can rest there now. Through you. It will go. The regret, the second guessing, the endless questions without answers. They're all moving through you like I move through the willows. They don't have to stay. Your only job isn't to stop them from coming. Your job is to stop believing they define you. Stop treating yourself like you're bound to them. The things that feel urgent are rarely important from a wider view. From long ages away, from the perspective of someone looking back on a whole life, most of what consumes us in the present moment won't matter, and that's not permission to not care. That's permission to hold things lightly, to engage with what needs engaging, and then to let it go. You can learn to do this. You're learning it now. The water and the air, the below and the above, they tell you this. You are someone who can rest, not someone who is broken and needs to be fixed, not someone who's failing because their mind won't stop, someone who has discovered something deep, that the racing mind can be met with patience instead of force. compassion instead of judgment. You are someone who is learning to be still, and that learning is happening in your body right now. Your nervous system is recognizing, I am safe, I am held, I don't have to stay on alert. This is the deepest learning, not in your thinking mind, not in the part of you that analyzes and worries, but in the deeper body, the part that knows without knowing, the part that simply feels the warmth from the stove and the gentle rocking of the boat and knows this is okay. And from that knowing, from that felt sense, everything begins to change. Not because you forced it, not because you thought your way into it, but because you allowed yourself to rest. And in the resting, the transformation happens on its own. I am still here, still beneath you, still patient. And I want to tell you something about surrender. It is not giving up. It is not defeat. Surrender is what happens when you stop swimming against the current and allow yourself to float. When you stop fighting the river and let it carry you where it's going. The effort you've been exerting, the constant thinking, the endless processing, the way you grip every problem and shake it trying to find the answer, that effort is exhausting. And it's not necessary. I know 1,000 times your mind has told you it is. That if you stop thinking, you'll miss something important. That if you stop analyzing, you'll make a mistake. That if you relax your awareness, something unwelcome will occur. But here's what I know that your racing mind doesn't. You cannot think your way out of a problem that isn't a problem. You cannot solve something that isn't everything moves. And I want you to know something. You are not your thoughts. You are the space in which your thoughts are exhausted from carrying weight that doesn't belong to you. Your thoughts are the clouds. You're raw from the constant friction. Have you ever seen the sky try to push the clouds away? Have you ever seen the sky attack the clouds in this boat or argue with this water holding you? The sky simply is. The clouds finally and let that truth. The sky settle in, and that is what's happening in you right now. Where there is a part of you that is like the sky, a part of you that simply observes, that notices the thought without becoming the thought, that sees the concern pass by without engaging with it. This witness part of you, it has always been there, but you've been so busy being the cloud, so busy being the thought, that you forgot there was a space large enough to hold all of it. You forgot that you could step back and notice rather than believe, but you're remembering now. With every breath you're remembering. There is something in you that is separate from the racing mind, something that can watch it race and not be caught by it, something large and peaceful and completely unaffected by whatever your mind is doing. That is your true nature, the water and the air, the ground and the sky. And they say this together. Your racing mind has been trying to protect you. It has worked overtime to keep you well. It has replayed every conversation to make sure you didn't miss something crucial. It has worried about what might come to prepare you for possibility. It has regretted the past to make sure you don't repeat mistakes. Your mind loves you, but it has made a mistake. It thinks that constant vigilance equals safety, that endless thinking equals protection. It thinks that the racing is necessary, and you've been trying to match its pace. You've been trying to think faster and harder and more constantly, trying to win the game it's playing. But there is another way, a way where you don't have to match that pace, a way where you can be well without being on alert, where you can learn without constantly analyzing, where you can live without being constantly constantly concerned that you'll miss something crucial. This way is calling you now. This houseboat is showing you what it looks like. This stillness is showing you what it feels like. And your whole self is beginning to reorganize around this new knowledge. It is becoming possible for you. It is becoming easy. It is becoming your natural state again. I am the water, and I have held everything. I have held you through times of challenge and times of hope. I have held you through grief and celebration. I have held anger and peace, doubt and clarity. I hold all of it without preference, without judgment, without requiring any of it to be different than it is. This is what acceptance truly means. Not that you think everything is good, not that you pretend problems don't exist, but that you hold everything with equanimity, that you can say, yes, I'm worried. Yes, my mind is racing. Yes, I replayed that conversation 100 times, and I'm still okay. I'm still here. I'm still well. The events of your life do not determine your worth. The quality of your thinking does not determine your value. I am the air, and I move in rhythm. Exactly. There is a time for wind, racing, and a time for stillness. There is a time for activity and a time for processing. In nature, nothing is constant, and everything pulses between states. The heart beats and rests. The breath inhales and exhales, where you simply exist. The light comes without needing to improve or fix. This is the natural rhythm become something different, and your mind has a natural rhythm of peace. But you've been trying to make it available to you now. Always be here. It is you processing. You've been trying to make the active phase permanent, and that's like trying to make it always be bright, never allowing rest to come. It's not possible. And when you fight against the natural rhythm, you break things. You create exhaustion. You create the racing mind. But the rhythm is still there, underneath all the forcing, underneath all the trying. The natural oscillation between thinking and not thinking, between activity and rest. Your mind knows how to rest. Your body knows how to rest. They're just waiting for your permission. They're just waiting for you to trust that if you stop thinking, the important things will still be there. That if you rest, you won't miss anything crucial. That it's safe to let the other half of the rhythm happen. And it is. The voices together now. It's safe. The water and the air. Safe. The held and the free. They give you permission. Permission to rest without guilt. Permission to not think without concern. Permission to simply be. This is the final gift before you sleep. This understanding that your worth is not tied to your productivity. Your value is not determined by how much you think or how much you do. You are valuable simply because you exist. And because you exist, you deserve rest. You deserve this houseboat, and this still canal, and this moment when nothing is required of you except to exist. You deserve sleep that is deep and undisturbed. You deserve to wake refreshed, your nervous system finally understanding that the constant alertness is not necessary. You deserve to move through your life with less weight in your chest, less tension in your shoulders, less endless spinning in your mind. These things are beginning now. This transformation is beginning, not in some distant moment, not in some point you have to achieve or deserve or work toward, but now, in this moment, as you lie here with the water beneath you and the air around you and the houseboat holding you, something fundamental is shifting. Something is changing. Something is releasing. And you are safe in that releasing. You are held through it. into whatever comes next. I am the water, and I have been here longer than language, longer than memory. I know what it takes to endure. I know what it means to be moved by forces larger than yourself and yet to remain present. I know how to hold contradictions, to be both soft and powerful, both still and flowing, both ancient and ever renewing. Your racing mind cannot know these things through thinking. It can only know them through feeling, through allowing yourself to be held by something larger, through recognizing that you are not responsible for understanding everything, that some things are simply meant to be experienced, not analyzed. The people who have walked by my banks across centuries, they did not all have the answers. I did not all understand and carry messages. I move the clouds that bring rain. They rest. I stir the leaves that scatter seeds. I am the messenger of change, and I have a message for you. What needs to leave? Your mind does not need to solve the mystery of your own. Will stay. Your job is not to figure out which is while the deeper wisdom of your body is not to hold the thing that wants to go or to force away the thing that wants to stay. Your job is simply to breathe, to allow the movement, to trust the cycles, the anxiety you feel, the endless mental processing. These are attempts to control something that cannot be controlled. But there is peace in surrendering control. There is freedom in saying, I don't need to know. I don't need to understand. I don't need to manage every outcome. I can simply be here. I can simply let the air move through me. I can simply allow the cycles to happen. And in that allowing, the paradox resolves itself. You become more capable, more clear, more resourceful, precisely when you stop trying so hard to be the water from ancient depths, the air from infinite sky. They speak as one voice now. Your journey on this canal, in this boat, with these waters and these breezes, it represents something that has already changed in you. Already, at this moment, something inside you knows. You can rest and be okay. You can not know and be safe. You can let the racing mind continue to race in the background while you sleep. You do not need its permission. You do not need to win the argument with your own mind. You simply need to let this moment be what it is, and let the next moment be what it is, and trust that this flow, this flowing, is exactly what you need. The present moment is the only one that matters. Everything else is memory or possibility. And in this present moment, in this breath, in this heartbeat, you are exactly where you need to be. You are learning what it means to rest, not as failure, but as wisdom. Not as giving up, but as giving way. Not as ending, but as beginning again, fresh, renewed, whole. And so, as the voices fade and the silence deepens, know that you carry this peace with you. It does not leave. It stays. It becomes your ground. The cabin is becoming quieter around you. The fire in the stove has settled to embers that glow softly. The lapping of the water has slowed to something so gentle it's almost your own heartbeat. The breeze through the willows has become barely a whisper. The world is narrowing down to this one moment, this one place, this one houseboat on a still canal. Everything else is drifting away. The concerns, the endless list of things that demanded your attention, all of it is dissolving like mist over water. What remains is you, the boat, the water, the stillness, and something deeper than stillness beginning to emerge from inside you. A knowing, a quiet recognition. You are approaching the deepest place now. The place where no words are needed. The place where where everything is understood without language. Everything is felt without explanation. The voices are fading, their work is done. What comes now is silence, and in that silence, something essential speaks, not in words, in presence, in peace, in the simple truth of what you are when all the noise stops. I am the water, and I am still, not lonely, alone. There is a difference. I ask nothing of the world except that the seasons turn. I do not demand that others understand me. I do not need permission to exist exactly as I am. Look at how still I am. This stillness is not fragility. It is not weakness. It is the strength of something that needs nothing but its own nature. The overactive mind believes it must solve everything. It believes that every thought is urgent. Every question demands an answer. But I show you something different. I am here. I am still. I contain multitudes, but I do not become frantic explaining them. I am the air. My stillness is my power, not power to judge anything, not to power in itself, simply power to simply be. I pass by suffering, you sit and I do not become suffering. You are beginning by joy, and I do not cling to power within yourself. I am the background to all things, the power to rest, and here is what I know. To be still without proving anything, not the thoughts. To exist without explanation, but the awareness behind them. The part of you that can observe the spinning mind without becoming the spinning. The racing thoughts are not you. They are clouds passing through the sky of your awareness. And you are the sky, vast, holding, untouched by what moves through you. This is not passivity. This is clarity. This is the deepest form of action, the choice to observe without being caught, to feel without being overwhelmed, to know that the movements in your mind are real, but they are not you. They are weather. Speak together now. You are the space, the water below, the air surrounding, the held and the holder, and in this moment a transformation happens. You are not trying to fix your racing mind. You are not fighting it. You are learning to be like the water, still enough to hold everything without needing to understand it. You are learning to be like the air, present to everything without being confined by it. This is the paradox that your deepest self already understands. The more you try to stop the racing, the more it races. But the moment you stop trying, the moment you become willing to notice the race without joining it, everything changes. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is movement observed from a place of peace. And you are finding that place right now, in this cabin, above this water, within this breath. Your nervous system is settling into its true rhythm, not forced, not suppressed, simply return to its natural state of calm alertness. I am the water beneath this canal, and I belong here, not because I earned it, not because I proved myself. I belong because this is where I am. This is my nature, and you belong in your own body in exactly the same way, not because of what you accomplish, not because of what you understand, but because you exist. Your racing mind is trying to earn something that is already yours. It is trying to prove something that is already true, like a river asking permission to flow, like rain flowing without permission. You are already here. You are already alive. You are already part of this world in the way that matters most. And when you stop trying to earn your place, when you stop racing to prove the world completely, you discover something that was never forgot is safe from all harm. You discover that you have because I understand that I am part of ancestors' system. The earth holds everything, and in this body of yours, I flow. This remarkable, and sometimes this requires my permission. Sometimes restless body. I move the seasons. I move. It is not a problem to be solved. I move with forces larger than myself, and I do not resist. recognition that you are held by something larger. Your racing mind believes it must control everything. It believes that if you stop vigilant, something terrible will happen. But look at how the seasons change without your management. Look at how your heart beats without your direction. Look at how your body heals itself when you sleep. There is an intelligence at work that does not require your constant supervision. Your job is not to control. Your job is to cooperate, to flow with rather than against, as one, to trust the water and the air, the contained and the boundless, and they speak a truth that your deepest self is beginning to remember. You are not separate from life. You are not trying to live. You are living. Every breath is not a test you might fail. It is proof that you are alive right now. This moment, this body, this mind, even the racing part, is not wrong. It is simply the particular way your nervous system has learned to engage with the world. And now, you are learning a different way. Not through force, not through discipline, but through the gentle recognition that you do not have to earn your peace. Peace is your natural state. Your racing mind is like someone running in a stopped train. The effort is real, but the purpose is confused. You stop running. You realize the train will take you where it needs to go. And in that stopping, you arrive. You arrive in this moment. You arrive in your own breath. You arrive in the still water that has always been beneath you. The cabin is becoming quieter around you. The fire in the stove has settled to embers that glow softly. The lapping of the water has slowed to something so gentle it's almost your own heartbeat. The breeze through the willows has become barely a whisper. The world is narrowing down to this one moment, this one place, this one houseboat on a still canal. Everything else is drifting away. The concerns, the endless list of things that demanded your attention, all of it is dissolving like mist over water. What remains is you, the boat, the water, the stillness, and something deeper than stillness beginning to emerge from inside you. A knowing, a quiet recognition. You are approaching the deepest place now. The place where no words are needed. The place where everything is understood without language. Everything is felt without explanation. The voices are fading. Their work is done. What comes now is silence. And in that silence, something essential speaks. Not in words, in presence, in peace. In the simple truth of what you are when all the noise stops. Something in you knows how to let go, not let go of the world, not let go of your life, let go of the thoughts that don't serve you, the replays that don't matter, the what-ifs that have no answer. Something in you already knows how to do this. Deep down, you recognize that stillness is your natural state, not agitation, not racing, stillness. This is where you come from. This is where you go back to in sleep. This is the baseline of your being. You carry within you the ability to simply stop. To stop the striving. To stop the proving. To stop the endless trying to fix what doesn't need fixing. And in that stopping, you find something. Not emptiness, fullness, not loss, everything. The peace that was always there underneath. You are strong enough to not have all the answers. You are wise enough to know that not every question deserves an answer. Part of you recognizes that the present moment is the only one that matters. Everything else is memory or imagination. imagination, and in this moment, right now, you are exactly where you need to be. Your mind can rest now. It has done enough. It has carried enough. It can put down the weight and be still, and something in your body knows this. Your muscles know this. Your breathing knows this. Your heartbeat knows this. The deepest part of you, the part that has always known how to sleep, how to rest, how to release, it's awakening now. It's taking over. Worry about what you cannot change is a weight you can put down. You are choosing to put it down now. Your eyes want to close now, not fighting it, not holding on, just letting them close. That's right, in this warm place, in this safe place, with the blanket around you and the boat holding you and the water still beneath you, your mind is becoming quieter with each word, each breath. The racing has stopped, the spinning has stopped, the endless questions have stopped, and something like peace is moving in, like mist settling over the canal at rest, like the world becoming itself again. All you need to do now is let go completely, release into the depth, release into the stillness, drifting into the sleep that's waiting for you, the kind of sleep where time doesn't move, where nothing disturbs you, where you are completely and absolutely well. You're releasing now, down into the peaceful quiet, down into the rest. Your body knows something your racing mind has forgotten. It knows how to rest, it knows how to heal, it knows how to flow with the rhythms that have always held you. Your heartbeat, your breath, the turning of the seasons, the tides of your own energy. All of it moves in patterns that are not up for debate. Your nervous system is learning to trust these patterns again, learning to stop interrogating its own aliveness, learning to simply be. You have survived every difficult moment that has come before this one. 100%. Every single challenge. You are still here. This is not luck. This is your strength. Let yourself know this. Let it settle into your bones. You are strong enough to rest. You are wise enough to stop controlling. You are worthy of peace exactly as you are. This permission you have always wanted, to rest without proving anything, to be still without earning it, to exist without explanation. This permission is ancient. It is not new. Every human before you lived this permission. Every child born knows this without being taught. Your body remembers even when your mind has forgotten. Your cells remember. Your nervous system remembers. The part of you that is older than thought, the part that is animal and alive and wise, that part never forgot. It has been waiting for your conscious mind to catch up, to remember that you do not need permission from anyone, not from your parents, not from your culture, not from your own harsh inner voice. You were born with the right to rest. You were born with the right to take up space. You were born with the right to simply be, and that right does not expire. It does not need to be re-earned. It is yours. It has always been yours. Let yourself know this as you drift deeper into sleep. Let this knowing settle into every cell. You are allowed to rest now. The houseboat is becoming less real now, not disappearing, just softening. The hard edges of the wood are fading into shadow. The brass fittings are losing their shine. The light from the stove is becoming gentler, because the stillness has come inside you now. It's not external anymore. It's not something you visit. It's something you've become. Your breathing is slow, deep, effortless. Your body is completely heavy, completely relaxed. There's nowhere you need to go, no one you need to be. Just this, just rest, just the gentle transition of the light into the quiet of sleep. Let yourself drift now, all the way down. There's no edge, no boundary, just the soft descent into sleep. Your mind is quiet, so quiet. Your body is heavy, so heavy. You're settling into the bed beneath you, becoming part of it. The warmth is wrapping around you. The quiet is welcoming you. And somewhere in the distance, beyond words, beyond thought, there's a knowing, a deep knowing. You have a mind, but you are not your mind. You have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. You have worries and questions and endless processing, but underneath all of that, underneath everything, there is peace, and that peace is yours now. Let sleep come, just let it come. There's nothing to do, nothing to think, nothing to solve. Just sleep, just rest, just the end of this journey and the beginning of the deep rest you deserve. Let yourself release now, all the way into sleep. Sleep now, sleep deeply, sleep well. There is nothing to solve here, nothing to understand, nothing to prove, just the feeling of floating, just the knowledge that you are held by the water beneath you, by the earth beneath that, by the vast systems that have always held every living thing. Your thoughts can come and go like clouds. Your feelings can move through you like breeze through a window. You do not need to hold on to them. You do not need to push them away. They are just weather. And you are learning to be like the space in which weather happens. Let yourself settle deeper now, deeper into the boat, deeper into rest. The houseboat rocks gently, if it rocks at all. You cannot quite tell anymore where the boat ends and the water begins. You cannot quite tell where your body ends and the peace begins. Everything is dissolving into everything else. And this is not loss. This is coming home. This is what you have been seeking. Sleep now, all the way down, into the still water, into the peace, into yourself.